Speed. It is not just about how fast something moves. It is about what it represents. Freedom. Rebellion. Precision. A perfect union of control and chaos that makes a machine feel alive beneath you. For decades, one nation built its reputation on engineering that stirred the senses. Engines that roared with character, designs that seemed sculpted from emotion rather than efficiency. But time changes everything. Icons fade, industries shift, and even legends must learn to live again. In this story, we explore a machine that attempts the impossible. To resurrect a heritage brand once considered gone, and give it a pulse fit for the 21st century. It is about faith in craftsmanship, the pull of nostalgia, and the courage to rebuild from near extinction. The challenge is simple in theory but brutal in practice. How do you honor your past without being trapped by it? Stay with us as we uncover how one reborn classic from Britain tries to answer that question. If you enjoy deep dives into automotive legends reborn, like and subscribe, and comment which machine you want us to explore next. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 begins not as a product, but as an act of resurrection. Its story starts decades before a single bolt was tightened or a line was drawn on paper. It begins in an era when British motorcycles ruled the roads and defined cool for an entire generation. The original Norton Commando was more than transportation. It was identity on two wheels. Riders loved its torque, its poise through corners, and that unmistakable thrum that made every ride feel personal. When the brand fell apart, so did a piece of British motorcycling soul. Fast forward to today, and the 2023 Norton Commando 961 Sport carries the burden of that legacy. Every nut and gasket is touched by history. Every decision made by engineers reflects a choice between tradition and reinvention. Built in Solihull, England, the new Commando 961 Sport symbolizes both craftsmanship and correction. After years of turmoil and new ownership, Norton needed a statement of intent. This bike is exactly that. The chassis is a tubular steel cradle that recalls the classic silhouette while being precision welded by hand for modern stiffness. The 961 cubic centimeters parallel twin engine is air and oil-cooled, a deliberate choice in a market obsessed with liquid-cooled performance. It produces around 76 horsepower, not headline-grabbing numbers by modern standards. But that is beside the point. The Commando 961 Sport is not chasing lap times or record books. It is chasing feel. The throttle response is tuned for progression, the clutch light enough for city traffic, and the riding position relaxed yet engaged. Olean suspension on both ends gives it a planted yet supple ride, with Brembo brakes bringing immediate confidence. But what sets the 2023 Norton Commando 961 Sport apart is not just the components. It is the philosophy behind their use. Where many modern motorcycles hide their mechanics behind fairings and electronics, the Commando wears its workings proudly. You see the polished fins on the engine. You feel the vibration that connects you directly to combustion. The designers intentionally left a trace of imperfection in the experience. That human pulse that so many computerized machines lack. It is a tactile conversation between rider and engine. The question, of course, is whether this nostalgia-driven approach has a real place in 2023. The market is filled with rivals offering more power, less maintenance, and lower prices. Norton's answer is authenticity. When you sit on the 961 Sport, you are not buying efficiency. You are buying emotion, connection, and the story of a brand that refused to die. Each of the roughly 200 hours required to assemble a Commando by hand tells that story. The metal is shaped and polished in small batches. Even the seat stitching follows traditional patterns. It is an unashamedly analog motorcycle built in a digital age. And that might be its strongest appeal. The 2023 Norton Commando 961 Sport is not about competing with another manufacturer's spec sheet. It is about reminding riders why they fell in love with motorcycles in the first place. The sound of the twin firing unevenly, the slight mechanical chatter that signals life, the honesty of a design that shows you exactly what it is doing. There is no trickery here, no riding modes, no electronic suspension, no digital wizardry to correct your mistakes. It trusts you to be part of the process, not a passenger to technology. Yet beneath this romantic revival lies a very pragmatic mission. Norton needed a halo model to restore its reputation after years of scandal and uncertainty. The 961 Sport had to prove that the company could still build something worthy of its crest. To achieve that, the engineering team rebuilt almost every subsystem to meet modern standards while retaining the old-school charm. The oiling system was redesigned for reliability. Wiring harnesses were simplified and cleaned. Tolerances tightened. Even the paint quality and surface finish were brought to premium levels previously unseen in Norton's recent past. The goal was clear. No more excuses, no more nostalgia without quality. For those who test ride it, the first impression is balance. The weight distribution, at roughly 485 pounds wet, gives it a grounded, muscular feel without being sluggish. The steering is neutral, with a touch of classic resistance that makes it feel deliberate rather than twitchy. It is a bike that rewards rhythm rather than aggression. The torque curve is broad, allowing smooth roll-on power from low revs, ideal for real-world riding rather than track sessions. This is how the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 sets its tone. Deliberate, elegant, unapologetically mechanical. It does not shout. It resonates. In an age where motorcycles often aim to be smartphones on wheels, this machine whispers of oil, metal, and road. It appeals to those who find satisfaction not in screens, but in feel. And that is where its deeper story begins, because for Norton, building the 961 Sport was not just about producing a motorcycle. It was about proving that heritage, when handled with skill and honesty, can be a powerful tool for reinvention. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 exists at the intersection of heritage and hard reality. It is one thing to celebrate a past icon. It is another to make it relevant and viable in a modern marketplace. The engineers and designers faced that tension daily. The first challenge was regulatory. Euro 5 compliance left almost no room for the old-school air-cooled twin to survive. Yet Norton found a way to refine the combustion process, improve fueling, and meet emission standards without surrendering the trademark sound and character. That balancing act defines the entire 961 Sport experience. This is a motorcycle built to feel vintage but operate with the reliability and safety expected of the present day. The brand's rebirth also required more than mechanical fixes. It demanded cultural rehabilitation. Norton's previous ownership had left scars in the community, from failed deliveries to questions about financial practices. The 2023 Norton Commando 961 Sport became the public face of a new era under leadership focused on transparency and craftsmanship. Every bolt tightened, every inspection logged, served not only as quality control but as an act of trust rebuilding. For the workforce in Solihull, assembling this motorcycle was not just manufacturing. It was personal redemption. Riding the 961 Sport today feels different partly because of that human context. You are not simply riding a motorcycle. You are experiencing a collective promise to do better. Beneath the brushed metal and gloss paint is an insistence that British engineering still matters. The tactile simplicity of the machine contrasts sharply with the increasingly computerized competition. It offers mechanical honesty in a world that often trades feedback for convenience. The torque delivery at mid-range feels alive. The clutch engagement provides a tactile reminder that precision can be emotional. Even the exhaust note, tuned for regulation yet resonant with the deep burble of its ancestors, feels like a conversation across decades. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 thus functions as a rolling museum and a forward-facing laboratory. Its value lies not in statistics but in experience. Reviewers often mention how it captures something modern bikes have lost: a dialogue between rider and road. Without traction control or ride-by-wire interference, every corner becomes a partnership, not a calculation. The sensory feedback teaches you restraint and confidence. It makes every mile a memory rather than data. However, this commitment to heritage has its cost. The price tag places it firmly in the premium segment, where buyers expect not only beauty but also performance parity. Compared to rivals boasting near triple-digit horsepower, advanced electronics, and lower maintenance intervals, the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 seems modest. But its appeal lies elsewhere. For riders who prioritize soul over spec sheets, it delivers something hard to quantify: authenticity. There is also the question of scale. Norton's new facility can produce only a limited number of units per year. That scarcity amplifies desirability but restricts reach. The company's goal is not mass volume. It is reputation recovery. By building the 961 Sport with near-bespoke attention, Norton repositions itself as a boutique manufacturer rather than a mass producer. Each motorcycle becomes a rolling statement of quality, aimed squarely at enthusiasts who value individuality. This strategic shift also redefines what a modern British motorcycle can be. Instead of chasing Japanese efficiency or European performance, Norton doubles down on identity. The 961 Sport celebrates craftsmanship as a competitive edge. That is risky in a market often driven by numbers, but it reinforces the company's narrative as a custodian of timeless design. The form language, rounded tank, exposed frame, twin shocks, works not as nostalgia but as continuity. Even the choice of analog gauges instead of digital screens underlines confidence in simplicity. The result is a motorcycle that feels both classic and current, a hybrid of eras shaped by conviction rather than compromise. Yet beyond design and mechanics lies the emotional core of this project. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 represents an act of national pride. Britain's motorcycle heritage once led the world, and its decline mirrored industrial challenges across the country. Reviving Norton is therefore more than a business move. It is symbolic of resilience and renewal. Each time a rider swings a leg over the 961 Sport, they participate in that story. They validate the idea that history, when respected, can still move at 120 miles per hour. The market's response to this machine has been cautiously optimistic. Critics admire its finish and fidelity to the brand's roots, though some note its price and modest output as limitations. But even detractors acknowledge its craftsmanship. The metalwork gleams with old-world pride. The welds, visible and unapologetic, speak of human labor rather than robotic precision. Every component tells a story of effort, intention, and respect. That emotional gravity is rare in modern manufacturing. And that, perhaps, is what keeps the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 relevant. In an age when technology often replaces touch, this motorcycle restores it. It reminds us that progress does not always mean more features or higher horsepower. Sometimes it means remembering why we started riding in the first place. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 is more than a nostalgic tribute. It is a study in how heritage can coexist with modern expectation. At this point in its journey, the conversation shifts from rebirth to endurance. Can a hand-built, analog motorcycle thrive in a digital ecosystem dominated by algorithms and convenience? The answer depends on perspective. For those who measure motorcycles by data, the 961 Sport may appear out of place. But for those who see them as art in motion, it stands exactly where it should. The engineers who shaped the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 approached the project with an almost artisanal discipline. They recognized that heritage alone would not sustain the brand. It needed measurable integrity. The company invested heavily in quality assurance, something missing in earlier chapters of its history. Each unit undergoes extended bench testing, vibration analysis, and precision alignment before delivery. That attention to process transforms nostalgia into credibility. The ride quality reflects that effort. The engine, while air-cooled, feels refined and mechanically tight. The gearbox engages with a satisfying click, the throttle is linear, and the suspension reads the road without numbing it. Every feedback point feels intentional, designed to celebrate engagement rather than isolate it. Riders who spend time with the 961 Sport often describe a growing connection, as though the bike invites them to participate rather than simply observe. That participatory quality is what makes the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 a unique entry in the modern market. It positions itself not as an alternative to hyperbikes but as a counterbalance. It exists to remind us that speed, while thrilling, is only part of the equation. Feel matters. Connection matters. The 961 Sport's limited top-end power forces riders to find satisfaction in precision, flow, and rhythm. On winding roads, it encourages smooth inputs and measured lines. It rewards craft over aggression. This kind of riding feels almost meditative in a world of constant digital overload. Yet the bike's success also depends on something beyond rider experience: sustainability of purpose. Norton must prove that craftsmanship can be profitable in a high-volume market. The 961 Sport serves as a beacon model, but the brand's future relies on expanding its range while keeping this attention to detail intact. The company's leadership knows that one icon cannot sustain a business forever, but it can set the tone for everything that follows. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 thus functions as a philosophical template. It redefines progress as refinement rather than reinvention. It shows that evolution can mean perfecting the familiar instead of abandoning it. There is a quiet confidence in that approach, a refusal to chase trends. Instead of touchscreen dashboards, the 961 Sport offers a direct connection between machine and mind. Instead of rider modes, it trusts instinct. That trust builds loyalty. The owners of this motorcycle form a small but passionate community, bonded by appreciation for tangible mechanics and handcrafted beauty. In their eyes, the 961 Sport represents a promise that analog experiences still have a future. From a cultural standpoint, its existence reinforces Britain's position in the global conversation about design and identity. The Commando name carries enormous weight. To revive it responsibly is to honor an entire lineage of engineers and riders. Each time the engine fires, it echoes decades of history while signaling a new beginning. The motorcycle's visual language supports that balance. The tank and tail recall classic proportions, yet the materials and finishes reflect modern luxury. Even the color palette, deep metallics and subtle striping, speaks to restraint rather than retro novelty. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 manages to feel timeless because it does not chase either the past or the future. It inhabits the space between them. That equilibrium gives it staying power. What began as a project to restore faith has become a living expression of what motorcycling can be when emotion and engineering meet halfway. The 961 Sport is not about breaking boundaries. It is about reaffirming them. It invites reflection on why we ride and what we expect from machines that share our roads and our lives. In that sense, it becomes more than transportation. It becomes philosophy in motion. The lessons learned from building the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 will influence every future model to emerge from the factory. More importantly, it proves that legacy brands can evolve without losing soul. It demonstrates that progress and tradition are not opposites but partners, each giving meaning to the other. For riders who seek connection rather than convenience, this motorcycle delivers a rare promise. Authenticity, rebuilt piece by piece, ready to be lived, not just admired. The story of the Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 closes where it began, with the question of whether a legend can truly live again. Over its development, Norton faced engineering challenges, brand skepticism, and the weight of expectation that comes with a name written into motorcycling history. Yet the result speaks for itself. The 961 Sport stands as proof that revival is possible when guided by integrity, patience, and precision. It does not compete for headlines or lap records. Instead, it redefines success as authenticity restored. In the saddle, every vibration and note of the parallel twin engine becomes a reminder that craftsmanship can still matter in a digitized world. The 2023 Norton Commando 961 Sport invites reflection as much as excitement. It teaches that progress need not erase the past. It can polish it, refine it, and let it shine again under modern light. Each time the ignition turns, you hear not just an engine but a legacy rebuilt from its own echoes. That legacy carries weight beyond motorcycling. It symbolizes resilience, the idea that an institution can recover, adapt, and find relevance again without abandoning what made it special. For riders, the 961 Sport offers a connection to something enduring. For Norton, it marks a future built on lessons learned the hard way. In a landscape where many machines feel disposable, this motorcycle reminds us that meaning can still be engineered. Its reward lies not in speed alone, but in the way it makes riders feel part of a continuing story. The Norton Commando 961 Sport 2023 may not save an industry, but it preserves a spirit, and sometimes that is more valuable than domination. It stands as both tribute and torchbearer, a bridge between eras, between analog precision and modern purpose. The revived Norton name, once uncertain, now rolls forward with quiet confidence. And that sound, the steady pulse of the Commando twin, feels less like nostalgia and more like renewal. That is how a legend survives. Not by reliving its glory, but by earning it again, one perfect mile at a time.